Hey everyone, Jules here, and welcome to the OCE Racing League Classic Invitational event. So tonight is the first classic race that we are hosting, and yeah, today I'll be switching with dart tags from a driver to a commentator. So let's see how we go. Let's see how I handle a new different challenge, and let's see how dart tags handles his new challenge in behind the wheel of a Ferrari 2004, I believe. Now, with this classic invitational event, just so I can give you guys a brief overview of what this event is pretty much about. Basically, it'll be a 2-round event. So drivers are split into 2 teams for this Italian Grand Prix, which is round 1. One team is the 2004 Ferrari, driven by Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello back in the day. And then the next team is the BMW Williams in 2003 car, which was driven by Juan Pablo Montoya and Ralf Schumacher at the time. Both cars are extremely quick, particularly around this Monza track, as we know, the Ferrari of 2004 absolutely dominated that season, and the 2003 Williams of Juan Pablo Montoya held the track record here back in the day for up until I think 2018, where I think Kimi Räikkönen broke his track record after 15 years. So, and here we are out onto the track for a wet Monza. So this is going to be a completely different challenge for the drivers. Next, we'll be having the round 2 at the Japanese Grand Prix, where cars driven will be the 1990 McLaren and Ferrari, both driven by Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost back in the day. So the drivers again will have a completely different challenge in that race there. Now, with the rules of this classic event, all these drivers were given in a random order their team. So they really only had one practice session to work out what car they're going to be driven. Now, they're going to be working as a team. So the team with the most constructors points at the end of the 2 rounds will be the winner, will be the constructor winner. We do have also a driver championship as well, but these guys get to work as a team for the first time. As normally in our racing league, we hold the multiplayer car, which is an individual title. So there's no teammates in the multiplayer series for our racing league. So this will be the first time these guys get to work as a team, which will be exciting to see. Now, in the event that these guys draw on points, the winner will be determined by wins, then podiums, then average race position. So we will see how we go. But Salty Sandman has started his flying lap in the wet. Let's hope he can break in time. He definitely has, but he goes a little bit wide, and going a little bit wide has screwed his exit 2, his turn 2. So as he's corrected it up, he's going flat as we ride on board with him in the BMW Williams. Gear 6. There seems to be a yellow flag on the track. Not sure where that is. Let's see. Yellow flag's gone, so it's all good. Obviously someone's run wide in the tricky conditions. Now, about these cars, these are really tricky cars to drive. They've got the V10 power in the back of them, which is an amazing piece of machinery. If you ever listen to a V10 Formula 1 car, that's enough to make you just fall in love with it, because the screeching high-pitched sound of the car just is absolutely amazing. And that's where I watched my very first race. That's the very first engine I have ever heard for a Formula 1 car, back in 2003 at the Australian Grand Prix, and it was just incredible. Salty Sandman has also invalidated his lap, and Dartag sets the first lap with a 1:39.7. So he set the board here. Locks up. on board with Ubiquitous Shadow. Very treacherous into that turn. Again, very, very tricky. The car's basically playing on the throttle, just trying to maintain traction out of that corner. As I said, these are V10, so the revs of these cars goes to 19,000 RPM. So that's a lot of power to be behind. As I was driving with the guys during the week on practice, and it's very tricky to control. But as he rounds the final corner in Monza, a little bit wide, a little bit of a slide as well, and Salty Sandman seems to have retired. So that's a very, very quick retirement within 6 minutes of the qualifying. He's got a bit of a wait, as Ubiquitous, I believe, must have invalidated his lap, because I don't think he's set one. And as he goes brakes himself and goes straight through the styrofoam, doing a Sebastian Vettel, the 2020 Italian Grand Prix. On board with Peanuts, who looks to be finishing up his lap, and sets the quickest time of all. Wow, with about 2-second advantage over Dartag with a 1:37.614. He seems to have gotten onto grips with the car very quickly. Very, very quickly. That's a brilliant lap by Peanuts. During practice, he's been really enjoying driving the V10 and the 1990 era. So expect some good things from Peanuts. He's really, really loving the handle of these cars, and he's one of the few drivers on our racing league that actually plays with controller. So it's really impressive with what he can do. It'd be incredible to imagine what he can do when he gets his hands on a proper wheel. So some serious pace coming from Peanuts. Let's see. Let's hop on board with Chris Mania, as I believe he has also invalidated his lap. So, ooh, massive slide out of there. Almost drifting out of that corner. The sound of these V10s as they reach high, it's just incredible. I do miss the days of the V10 era. It's great with what we've got now, because the cars are the fastest they've ever been, but nothing will ever compare to the sound of these V10s. They were just a whole other animal. They were basically in their own predatory region, just crazy engines. Again, they were a bit unreliable, because they were very prone to breaking down, engine blowouts, just because the RPMs that they were just surging through. Yeah, it was strong engines, but not very reliable. As we are back on board with Peanuts. Seems to be starting his second flying lap. Whoa, he's just caught that slide, but again, it's stuffed his lap, basically. It's really struggling with the rain at the moment. I'm not sure, but it looks like it's coming down a bit more than it was before, so it seems like it's getting a bit wetter. Sound of that engine. Switch the camera. Very treacherous. Oh, even on the grass there. And massive slide, but he's just saved it. Massive slide from Peanuts. As we seem to have another yellow flag, which must be right behind him. As we got Starish Clown in the pits. Back on board with Peanuts. Whether he's got enough fuel in the tank to continue for another lap. And I must have missed it as well, because Peanuts has also set a 1:34.8, so it was 3 seconds quicker than his last pole lap. So maybe it's not getting wetter. Maybe it's stabilizing with the dry line appearing on the track. So maybe these guys are going a little bit quicker than from when they first started out, when they first came out. And Peanuts does have enough fuel to start another flying lap as he exits turn 1 and 2 quite nicely, quite smoothly. Coming into the end of turn 1, sector 1, another yellow flag on the track. As we have, who is that? Swifty seems to have made a bit of an error, and he seems to have damaged his wing as well in the process. Yeah, the front left part of the wing he's missing, so must have made contact with the wall, with the barrier. Back on board with Peanuts. Nice traction, beautiful sound down this straight. As he finishes up sector 2, takes a nice tight line through there. Very well controlled as he slides, very little slip through that exit of that corner. Sorry with the naming of the corners, guys. I know a few of the names, but not the whole track. But as Peanuts rounds the last corner, the last hairpin of the track, will this be another pole position? No, he doesn't improve on his time. That's what we want. As I said, guys, I'm very new to this commentary challenge. It's different from driving. I'm able to bring a driving perspective, but it's a whole different ball game. I have to be quick with my words, rather than quick in terms of reacting to what's coming in front of me. And I believe we should also have Biggles, who has also been commentating with us for a little while now, but I believe he's having a few network issues, so hopefully he comes and joins us later as Peanuts makes a big slip out of that corner and resets the track. The easy way out of that. Let's see, I don't think we've seen much of Chris Mania, as I believe he's starting his flying lap. What's he going to do in sector 1? There's a 29.797, which I'm not sure whether that's on par with any of the guys actually, but he's quite smooth out of turn 4 and 5. Turn 6, bit treacherous. He just, again, playing with that throttle, literally just tickling it, trying to get the power on as early as he can, because as confirmed, one has retired. There's his car. He's made contact with the barrier with 4 minutes remaining. Bit of a lock, but it's helped him to rotate and turn into the corner. It's looking like a pretty decent lap for Chris Mania with 4 minutes to go. I hope he's got enough fuel in his car to continue until the end of the session, because the known thing when it comes to wet driving, especially in qualifying, is you fuel it up for as long as you possibly can, because you want to be out on the track as long as you can, because the track changes every lap. As Chris Mania puts in a third fastest lap time with a 1:36.2, so still quite some way off UBQS and Peanuts, but he's got a decent gap to Killaroo, so very close to making contact with Styrish Clown. As Killaroo is also slowing down, thinking Chris Mania was continuing his lap, as it looks like Dartax has been disqualified for going the wrong way. So Dartax, yeah, there we go, disqualified from the session. So that's a bit unfortunate. So it looks like Dartax will be starting from last in P9. So he's going to have a tricky race. But who is that into the wall? It's a Ferrari. Styrish Clown, I believe, as he is also disqualified, I believe. Yeah, there we go. Disqualified from the session. So we've got 2 disqualifications from the session. Luckily, there's only 3 minutes to go. But it's quite annoying when you disqualify, get disqualified from the session. Particularly, this game can be a little funny. It's sometimes not really fair how it disqualifies its drivers, because you can be correcting after a spin and the game thinks you're going backwards, because obviously you need to go backwards to try and turn the car around, but it just immediately disqualifies you, it's quite a bit annoying. But at the end of the day, I suppose you've got to do your best to keep the car pointing forward at all times. So I suppose if you do spin it, you have to be really careful coming back facing the right way. As Chris Mania begins his next hot lap, so he does have a lot of enough fuel to continue going. But as I was saying before I got sidetracked, so with wet weather, you want to remain on the track for as long as possible, because every lap the track changes. Whether it's getting drier or wetter, you need to be out there, because you need to be ready for when it does change, because if there is a drier line than before, you're always going to go quicker. So it's all about picking the right line at the right time. So Chris Mania tackles 4 and 5 quite nicely, and 6 doesn't look too bad. A bit of slip, and I think he's touched the curb with his rear tyre, which has also sent him out a little wider than what he needed to. But he's not looking too bad. Not looking too bad. As I believe we've got five players left in the session. And there seems to be another yellow flag. Not sure who it was. The yellow flags, that's who it's for. So the yellow flag says, the yellow flags come out because it looks like some of the drivers were just doing the right and the polite thing in moving aside for when someone's starting the whole lap. As Chris Mania almost loses the car into the barrier, that would have been a massive brown flag moment there. He did improve his time a little bit, actually. He's into the 135.9, so he's into the 135s. So it's a bit of an improvement. That's going to cost him lap time, though. Unfortunately, he does not have enough time to start a next flying lap. So that's going to be really annoying for him. But I think he cemented P3 from Killaroo, who looks to be about just under 5/10 from him. As Peanuts is coming around, going to set. Will this be a quicker lap? Great shot from there. Will Peanuts get it? No, he's nowhere near, actually, 150. So he's obviously made a mistake somewhere, but he's crossed the line with just enough time to start a new flying lap. And we are on board with Ubiquitous Shadow. He's 4/10 up from his previous lap. And there's only 4/10 between him and Peanuts, so this is going to be an interesting lap. Let's see what Peanuts can do. Peanuts is only 1/10 up, so it's looking like Ubiquitous Shadow is only 1/10 away from Peanuts' pole time. He's on it. He's on the charge. 6/10. It's a massive lockup, but he's just slowed it down in time. So at the moment, it's looking like Ubiquitous Shadow's on for pole. What is Peanuts' sector 2 time? He's coming in just under a 10, so Peanuts is not really improving. Is Ubiquitous Shadow going to grab pole right at the end? What's his time? 31, 32. It's a 34, almost a 34 flat, 34.1. He's got pole at the moment. Peanuts, has he done enough? No, he has not. He's invalidated his lap somewhere. So it looks like Ubiquitous Shadow right at the end has snuck in for pole. What a lap. And Peanuts is... I have no idea what's happened there, but either a mix of poor control and the game trying to work out what is happening. Who else is left? As we got Shrifty on his last lap. It looked like there was a bit of an improvement for his sector 2, so can he grab P5 from confirmed 1? He's in the 40s, so he needs to find. Oh, he's probably not going to grab it. I think it's 145. Yeah, he's not going to do it. Yeah, I think he's lost a bit of time somewhere. So 150. There we go. He's lost time in that sector 3. But that seems to mark. That marks qualifying, guys. Qualifying of our first classic event at the Italian Grand Prix. Now onto the race, where it's 25% race distance, which these guys should easily be able to handle in terms of concentration for quite some time, as normally we race on a 50% race distance. So I think what will catch them out is the sheer brutality of the car. The commitment you have to drive one of these things is immense. Particularly down the straight, the car, it's not as stable as the current F1 cars. There's so much more downforce on the current F1 cars. So it's a real challenge to drive these cars, but really exhilarating, really great to drive. As we prepare for the race, we should have a formation lap, I believe. The guys are just getting their setups ready. Last minute setups, only so much that can change as there's still parc fermé rules. As we are loading in. There we go, session starts in 27 seconds. So if you guys are just tuning in now, be prepared for some thrilling racing, because turn 1 at Monza is always a tricky one. Now, in the league race, it was quite clean. I think there was an incident where I think it was Piero that hit the back of Peanuts, and Peanuts did a bit of a mini spin, but other than that, I think that was really the only incident on lap 1. So we see how this goes as we got the formation lap, I believe. Yeah, there we go. Formation lap, warm up the tires, and it is dry, so this will be, again, another challenge, whether these guys have prepared their setups for a dry setup, or did they go full wet? So this will be interesting. Now, as the predicted pit stop strategy shows, these tires were a lot more durable back in the day. Now they can get through one full race distance on these tires, as well as there wasn't also the rule where the mandatory pit stop of you must change from soft to a medium or hard compound. So there was also that rule too. But depending on what the guys have gone, whether it's gone aggressive or they've gone conservative, is up to them. I suppose it's going to also depend on what area of the race they're in at the time. So maybe if they're in second place with maybe 7 laps, 8 laps to go, maybe want to try something different. Because again, fresher tires equals lap time. How much, it will remain to be seen, but it looks like the conservative pit stop would be the way to go, with just the no pit stop. So all one long run. So as I think it's about a 20-second pit stop time. So it's a little bit of a loss, and I don't know whether you'll make that up with an extra 4 laps of fresher tires. So I think, yeah, being conservative on the tires and taking it the full way will be probably the way to go. And I think the majority of these guys will definitely go that way. As we are heading into the grid formation, as we prepare for our round 1. Line up on the grid. Slowly, as we wait on Styrish Clown as the last one to hit his grid, which he has. 5 lights are coming on. And the 5 lights are about to go out. There we go. And away we go. Pure Shadow's got a very good start, actually. Whoa! We have someone in the wall. Who is that? I think it's Chris Mania in the wall. It is Chris Mania. As we go into turn 1. Oh, a bit of a lock-up. Oh, big spin from Ubiquitous. Killaroo has jumped into the lead. Stick your shadow there. Chris Mania right at the end. Here we go. We've got a pass here for Dartags. Confirmed. Someone's gone wide. Dartags has got a good corner out of there. And he's taken the spot back from confirmed. Looks like Shrifty might have. He's dropped it. I don't know whether he's retired or not, but he's stuck. We are back on board with Killaroo, who's doing well at the front actually. Shrifty disqualified, parked in a dangerous location. Now that is interesting. Actually, whether he couldn't move or didn't move, I'm not sure, but he's apparently disqualified. And Starish Clown has retired from the race. He's obviously dropped it somewhere, and it says safety car's out. Safety car is out. So in one lap, guys, if you were tuning in, one lap, it was all it took, and we got a safety car with two races out of the race already. And it was Shrifty who was stuck into the barrier, it looked like. So I think I've had this problem before as well in one of our friendly races. Not a proper race, so where I got jammed into the wall and couldn't get out, and the game wouldn't let me out, and then I think it just froze, and then I retired on the spot. So I reckon that could have been what actually happened to Shrifty. So as Chris Mania has given the safety car's given Chris Mania a chance to catch back up to the field with the broken front wing he got at the start. We are on board with Killaroo, leading the pack. Had a tremendous start, absolute tremendous start. As it shows the predictive tyre strategy again. Right on board with Peanuts, trying to warm up the tyres. Dartags in third. He must be loving life at the moment. He's gone from commentary box to third place at the moment, so if he can hold it here, it's going to be an absolute dream debut for Dartags. Absolute dream for him. Ubiquitous Shadow seems to have climbed up the order. He seems to have gotten himself a penalty, as has Salty Sandman. Now, whether that's happened under the safety car, I am not sure, as we seem to have missed that. Board with confirmed. Chris Mania still catching the pack. Yeah, he's almost there. As we seem to have another lap under the safety car, so Chris Mania has plenty of time. It's confirmed. He's in the pits. Obviously, he's sustained some sort of damage. He'll have the chance to come back up, and I think he'll get there before Chris Mania does. And it looks like Shrifty has left the session as well. I think he's dropped out. I think that's the second time he's dropped out. Oh, what's happened to Peanuts? He's tried to warm up his tyres a little bit too violently there, and he's just dropped it.
G'day.
Hello, Biggles. You've gone in.
Yeah, but did I get in time, mate? Sorry about the delayed flight, but I got in time for the safety car.
Nah, yeah, pretty much just in time for the safety car. What'd you miss? You missed 2 retirements. One was a disqualification, but I believe I think it might have been a bit of a glitch where the car gets stuck in the barrier and you can't do anything about it. So I believe.
Hopefully not a Grosjean barrier. It's too soon.
Probably too soon, yeah. But I don't know. I've had this glitch happen to me once before. But here we go, safety car in this lap, and Killaroo was very close to hitting the back of the safety car.
And somebody can shoot me an invite into the lobby. Once again, I got tested. I'm negative, so I'm okay. I'm safe. Like Lewis Hamilton this weekend, I will get to join you.
I will do this now for you quickly. There you go.
Thank you, sir.
All good. He should be in now, as Killaroo needs to back up the pack. He doesn't want to go too far and too fast. He wants to make sure the pack is a little bit more backed up than what it is. He's confirmed his back on the tail of the pack, and Killaroo seems to have gone early too. He's blitzed it. Everyone's left for dead. Killaroo is absolutely blitzed it.
Caught everybody napping.
Pretty much.
Darts.
He's on the. Dartex is going for it. He's loving his dream debut at the moment.
Well, that 101, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do a race restart.
It's pretty much. Yeah. Ooh, he's gone. He's pulled out a second over Peanuts.
So pop in, hello on YouTube. We're comfortable. We're air conditioned. Drivers are sweating like mad right now. Like 13.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Charles.
On board with Killaroo at the moment. He's handling the pressure very well. He's even pulling a gap from Peanuts at the moment. Yeah,
It's been the fastest first sector, but yeah, second sector will go to Killaroo, so he's responding to exactly what you said.
And this is probably what I was talking about before. I wonder whether some of the guys have set their car up for more a dry setup or a wet setup. So, and here we got Ubiquitous coming very close into the back of Dartex at the moment. And right up behind, I think he's going to get in here. The slipstream is so effective in Monza. And that's the reason why they call it the temple of speed. Because if you're behind someone, you're going to pick up so much extra power as Ubiquitous locks up, but just manages to control the car. Nice exit. And Dartex might get another run. Run at him. And he's going for it. He's going to go for it. Oh, he's dropped it, but he's kept it, Dartex. Oh, almost dropped it again on the recovery. He's just kept it, still in fourth. Unfortunately, he's let Ubiquitous go, but he's just kept himself in it. It's given Chris Mania the chance to now attack Dartex. Have you ever driven one of these cars in the game, Biggles?
Horribly, yes, I have.
It's great.
It's a lot of fun. Italy's been around a very long time, obviously, so you played these games, and I have played these games many years ago as well. You can even date back to the 20s, really.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's always been in all the early day games, and this is one of those tracks that, like Silverstone and so forth.
Yeah.
They Monaco, it's just one of those favourites.
Yeah, I mean, there's been obviously a few changes to the track down the years. Obviously now no more rounds what it used to be, but there's still, half the track is still the same as what it used to be. So as Killaroo has also pumped in the fastest lap of a 1:22. So Killaroo is on the march. He's trying to break away from Peanuts as we have a yellow flag in Sector 1, which I think might have been from Salty Sandman. On board with him, but everything seems to be fine now. As Chris Mania is hunting down Dartex, trying to make up for that earlier. It's the poor getaway, really. The getaway for Chris Mania really got him because he dropped it on. He dropped it off the grid when the lights went out, and luckily for him there was a safety car because it did allow him to get back into play. He's very close to touching the grass there too. So Chris Mania. Yep, go. Sorry, I cut you off.
So Killaroo picking up a penalty, being a bit of a naughty boy, 3 seconds, and then it might help Peanuts later in the race. Sorry, my voice is a little bit gone almost.
No,
that was a long flight from Panama all the way over to Italy.
Nah,
so 26. So Peanuts is faster in the first sector, but Killaroo responds in the second, and Killaroo also responds in the third, as you can see, lighting up the timing board.
I think what it is, with the extra downforce, Peanuts is able to turn into the corners a lot more smoother, which is because obviously the more downforce you have, the more turn in, the more bite you're going to have with the track and the tires. But as the lap unfolds, now he makes it into the long straights. As he gets those long straights, Killer is just able to extend his advantage.
You're exactly right. Yeah, but the problem is you're in 11 of those corners. But now Killer Ridge responding first.
That's true. That's true. Killer Ridge really enjoying these classic cars. Actually, I mean, he did struggle a little bit with our league, our first season. He did struggle quite a bit, but he's really enjoying these classic cars, and he's really loving life with the Ferrari 2004. And I must admit, it is such a brilliant car.
So yeah, you're right out there. And let us know too on YouTube. Are you a Ferrari or are you a Williams?
It's yeah, BMW Williams. Yeah, that was back in the day. Yeah, because BMW was in the sport for quite a while, and I think the last team they were a part of was Sauber when it used to be BMW Sauber, and I think after that they pulled out of F1 after that.
That's true, and also, as you know, being Australian, as we do, Mark Webber did 1 or 2 seasons with the BMW Williams team.
This is true. Must admit, I felt sorry a little bit for Mark Webber, particularly in 2010, because I think, even though Vettel definitely deserved it, but I think, as Dartax has also dropped it, obviously on corner exit, I think, so he's lost a place to Chris Mania, so he's given a free spot, and Chris Mania can then start his charge on Ubiquitous Shadow.
But Mark, yeah, as you said, Mark Webber, his mistake was when he made that little spin under I think a safety car. Oh, speaking of spins, Chris Mania, sorry, Dartax spins.
As he spun again. He has spun again.
In a position as well, too. Confirmed, says, I'll confirm that position. P5. Yeah, but speaking of Mark Webber, yeah. He basically threw it away in Korea. Remember, there was a Korean race, South Korea.
I believe so.
Under the wet conditions, that was it. To me, where he spun.
Yes, that's right. That's when he dropped it on the exit of the corner, touching the curb and all the synthetic, sending him into the wall.
That was it, because if he would have got a hurl of points on that one, and maybe not doing a showy like that, if he would at least been in the top 3. Finishing that race, then that never would have come down to that last race in Abu Dhabi.
This is true. But I think the pit stop strategy cost him a little bit. I think Vettel definitely had the better strategy going for the overcuts rather than the undercut. And I think that's what it really was in Abu Dhabi, that last race. The overcuts seemed to have been better.
Yeah, Abu Dhabi is one of those races too that not a lot of overtaking as well. But once again, like I said, he would even been in that position. He could have just sat. If he sat in that position exactly where he'd finished in Abu Dhabi, if he held points in the Korean race, he would have won the championship. Chris Mania going fastest person on the track.
Is he really? Wow. He's really charging.
Oh, there's a spinner. That's confirmed. Dartax has basically felt a little sorry for him. Almost copied.
Whoa, they're trying to get back into the rhythm. They're almost dropping it again. The two of them.
Exactly. That's what happens to you. Like, I think you're too busy. Sometimes you're focusing on the driver up ahead as you're racing line, and when that driver goes out of the racing line, you're still thinking that he's in the racing line. That's it. It happens to all drivers. So,
yeah. As Tillaru pumps in another fastest lap, Salty Salmon gets himself a penalty too. So
might be pulling the 221, so that's 22 flat.
Well,
and just to let you know,
Chris Mania correct too.
Yeah. Temple of Speak, the Monza circuit, it's hosted this Grand Prix since 1921, 68 Grand Prix.
Wow. Monaco's
66, Silverstone 33.
Wow, I actually thought Monaco held the most, but apparently Monza does. That's really interesting to know. It's such a great location. Really, really great location. It's very historical. There's always loads of action on this track too.
As we're seeing right now is the battle between Confirmed and Dartax. These guys are just continuously action-packed between them.
For sure. Yeah, they're just going at it as Confirmed now has the slipstream on Dartax. Will he get there? I think he's a little too far away. He's very late braking though. Almost dropped it too. Dartax on the corner exit managed to get good traction and build away from Confirmed, but again, it looks to me as if Dartags has a more dry setup compared to Confirmed, because it looks to me in the corners, Confirmed is slowly catching, but down the straights, Dartags is just pulling away.
He's gone. He's like at a V10 versus a V12. Sorry, a V12 versus a V10.
Well,
And I don't know. Did they not get the memo that groove tires have been? Oh, there's a big mistake out of the final.
Confirmed.
Corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, Confirmed is struggling right now. And I guess he didn't get the memo that groove tires, well, you can have slicks now.
Another spinner somewhere. I think it's Mr. Salty Sandman. It is. He's spun. He's got to be very careful when he comes back on the track and reversing. Yeah. Speaking on the V10, V12 debate, what would you have preferred? Because from what I know, the V10s were the quicker, not because of performance, but because they were lighter. So, and he's obviously lost his front wing as well, Mr. Salty Sandman. But what would you have preferred, the sound of the V12 or the V10?
I've heard the V10s in person. I've been in Melbourne a few times during the period when these cars were exactly pretty much what they were. So, and Confirmed's really not like this. He's struggling.
Peanuts has spun as well. Peanuts just spun. He's lost second place. He's going to lose third place to Chris Mania at the moment.
Well, down the main straight, without that exit speed, he's going to be sitting.
Here we go. Chris Mania has popped himself into third. So from last, well, dropping it to last, is now into third spot as Salty Sandman has retired from the race. And
we're getting down to the business end of the town, and it was 12 of 13, but the slipstream from Peanut should be able to jump back. Drag line spray.
Oh, very, very close, but I think Chris Mania hasn't done himself justice as he tried to do the switchback, but Peanuts has just romped away, basically.
That first corner, it's like it feels like you can have two cars into it, and you can, but one little mistake, and you see a lot of it in that first corner, and it's practically one person's exiting that corner well up the road, and the other person's basically playing sand, playing in the sand.
Playing in the sand trap. No, all good. Bit of a tongue twister there too. But yeah, on the debate, back on the V10 to 12, what would you prefer?
Actually, even easy. I would like even. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. I couldn't pick one to the other. I'd like motorsports have to develop like they are. I wouldn't be surprised they go to V4 engines at some point in the future. Or just go that's the way it's going to go.
I really hope they don't. But
the sound, obviously, you can't go away from the
this is true.
It's going to whine. It whines a little bit more and destroys your ears. If you ever heard a Formula 1 car on a track back in those days, they were blisteringly loud.
Oh, Confirm. Sorry, I just jumped on board with Confirm. Now he's just recovering from a bit of a moment. It doesn't look like he's got any damage, but he does have the glitch where the car thinks it's in neutral, even though he's changing gears. Here we go, Chris Mania on a Peanuts. He's just kept in front. They're closing down Ubiquitous Shadow, actually. I think Ubiquitous has made a mistake somewhere, actually. This is the last lap. Yeah, I think Ubiquitous has made a mistake somewhere because he was only 6 seconds behind Killaroo. So
exactly, this is it for Peanuts and also for Chris. Podium position is up for grabs at the moment.
Who's going to get the better traction at his corner? That's
right. 50,000 unsocially distanced Italian Tifosi fans are screaming for one person of these drivers to get on. Obviously, they're begging for the Ferraris, as you would be.
Ferrari 1, 2, 3
could be throwing spatter in the mix as Killaroo wins this.
So we've got a Ferrari winner, but what's the final? It looks like Ubiquitous. So it looks like a Ferrari 1, 2, 4. So not bad from the Ferrari. They've got a very good head start going into round 2 of the Japanese Grand Prix. So very good head start actually. What is that? You got 25 plus I think the fastest lap for Chris Mania. So 25. Chris Mania actually has jumped into second with penalties to Peanuts and Ubiquitous Shadow. So it's still a 1, 2, 4.
Yeah,
Actually,
no penalties. That's the reason why Chris Manny did it. He was not sent to the naughty corner, and that's the FIA really like him. Or maybe he's just bribed the FIA and said thank you very much. But 10 seconds off the leader, but the 0 seconds penalties make all the difference.
yeah,
It was really
Killaroo,
close towards the end, actually, with those top 4 drivers.
Killaroo just bossed the field. After he took first in the first corner of the start and really never looked back. I don't think he's been out of first the entire race since turn 1. So I think I'm pretty sure he started in 6th. The game will definitely correct me as soon as Dartags crosses the line. Not a bad result for Dartags, particularly as a commentator. Peanuts has left the session. He's obviously dropped out somewhere. I believe Biggles has left the session as well. I think we may have lost Biggles. I know his internet is playing up, so hopefully he will be back. So he definitely will be back if he's able to. But yeah, he's been having some internet issues, unfortunately. But in the meantime, we celebrate Killaroo's win. His very first win as part of the OCE Racing League. So well done to Killaroo. Really, really well done. He really enjoyed the Ferrari 2004 car. As we can see, does it show where he started? Does not. It does not show where he started, so this is interesting. But in the meantime, guys, we are going to get set up for round 2 of the Japanese Grand Prix. We will be back, guys. Alright guys, welcome back. Sorry for the massive delay. We had a few incidents the game and a bit of connection issues. So sorry for the massive wait, but we do have all 10 drivers back with an addition of Piero jumping into the Ferrari. Now this time guys, with round 2 at the Japanese Grand Prix. So we are using the 1990 cars driven by Alan Prost and Ayrton Senna. Now, these cars, the V12, before with the 2004 Ferrari and 2003 Williams, they were a little slippery. With these cars, they are not just a little slippery, they are horrifyingly slippy, particularly when you touch the curbs. Again, when I was practicing during the week, like as soon as you hit the power band, just the car just will scare you off the road. It is just horrifying. But the sound, the experience is amazing. So we have a few cars jumping out now. I believe it's Law of the Streets is the first one. No, not Law of the Streets. It is Salty Sandman is the first one in his Ferrari, in the Alan Prost car back in the day. And we seem to have already had a bit of a incident. Whose incident? Law of the Streets is into the styrofoam wall. No damage, I hope. But we have a few guys. Law of the Streets disqualified for blocking the pit lane entry. Wow, that didn't take long. So he's already disqualified with 16 minutes to go. That's a horrible start for Law of the Streets. Salty Sandman is making his way. Shadow, Piero's out as well. Killaroo has also dropped it as well, so he's recovering from a spin. Dartags, where are you? Just at the end of Sector 1. Actually, no, past Sector 1, so he's now on his way. So at the moment, we ride on board with Salty Sandman, and just I'll let you guys listen to the V12 engine of the 1990 Ferrari car. Completely missed his braking point, and just before he starts the lap, hopefully that doesn't invalidate his next lap. But as you heard, guys, hope you really love the V10 V12 era. Now the time for the V12, and I hope you really enjoyed the sound of the Ferrari as Salty Salmon was taking us through. As Dartags has also started his lap, I hope he had a cleaner exit into the last two chicanes. Yeah, Salty Salmon doesn't seem to have invalidated his lap, so he's okay. And there's the power band, there's the slip, and off he goes. Drops it, completely just dropped it. And he's dropped it again. So that's not enjoying it. Dartax is retired. Wow, these cars, the guys are struggling with it at the moment. Pick your shutter, invalidated lap. Piero, he's okay at the moment. Killaroo also drops it. So these guys, they're struggling with the 1990 cars, and it's again, as I said before, they're horrifying. These cars are really horrifying to drive. Peanuts begins his lap. Again, Peanuts was flying in practice, so I'm expecting a lot. Even confirmed one and Peanuts were they were ripping apart practice times in these cars. So I'm expecting between the two of them big things. Actually, a couple of the guys haven't had a lot of practice on it, particularly Law of the Streets. This is his first outing with it. Ubiquitous Shadow has had a little bit of practice, which was today. But some of the guys, even Chris Mania, is learning on the go in his He really loves to shift in with the sequential shifter cars. He finds it a lot of fun, and yeah, he's on board with the car. He really enjoys driving. Actually, don't touch the curbs. These cars do not like curbs. The McLaren can handle it far more than the Ferrari can, as Piero beats Salty Sandman's 2-minute 11 time with a 1:44 flat. As Chris Mania goes wide. Yeah, the key with these cars is stay off the curbs. Oh, Chris Mania's dropped it. He's touched the grass and just gone. Just dropped it on corner entry. So he's continuing on as the time is even Killaroo has obviously dropped it somewhere there too, because it's 2-minute 14. So not enjoying this particular car compared to the Ferrari 2004. I mean, he's got 12 minutes to try and find some sort of rhythm and see if he can double his victory. As Salty Sandman, I know it's Shrifty actually, straight into the wall. Saw that one clean. Shrifty not enjoying these classic cars, not at all. As confirmed, what's he done? A 1:57. So even confirmed he's made a mistake somewhere. So Peanuts with a one. There we go. Peanuts with a 1:43.8, I believe it is. I knew he's gonna be quick. As yeah, confirmed is in the pit. So confirmed. I think he'd be able to match Peanuts, but again, Peanuts has been all over these classic cars the last couple of days. He's really enjoying these cars. Again, they're great fun to drive, but these cars were made to scare you. Yeah, they're just a beast. Just completely. Oh, Piero pumps in a 1:43.4. So he missed his lap, but he's putting it to Peanuts. He's really putting it to Peanuts, and he was not enjoying it in practice, but he's managed to find some time somewhere. So a bit of secret practice, I think. Maybe throwing the little dummy where he's like, oh, I'm no good. I don't want to race. And then all of a sudden he's come and popped in on 43.4 with a pole position at the moment with 10 minutes to go. So he's found a little bit of pace as ubiquitous. I believe he's on a hot lap. It's hard to tell. We'll know in this sector. Here we go. He's matched his time, so he's at least a bit consistent here. Now, just Chris Mania in sector 2. He missed his first time, but I think he's obviously made a mistake because oh no, here he is. Here we go. So we'll sector 2. We'll find out what Chris Mania is doing. He's definitely made a mistake because he's 14 seconds slower. So for sure, he's made a mistake somewhere, but. And Salty Sandman again, he's obviously made a mistake too because he's 7 seconds slower in sector 2. But it doesn't look like he's on a hot lap. I think he might be on a cooldown lap, or maybe not. Into the wall he goes, and that's going to be a bit of damage. As Peanuts has improved in sector 2, sector 1, I mean, so by 1/10. So what has he got? He's got 3/10 to find between sector 2 and 3. I thought so. Yeah, the car sounded a bit sick. Actually, it's not the car. It's the game glitch. The car thinks it's in neutral, and I think it's all fixed now. So Peanuts is the only one on track at the moment. As is Guru, actually, he's on his out lap. So we'll stick with Peanuts. Let's finish off the lap with him. And Peanuts smacks in a 1:43 flat. So that sector 2 and 3 must have been incredibly impressive because he was only 1/10 up in sector 1. So he made up 6/10 between sector 2 and 3. So mightily impressive by Peanuts. Now let's ride on board with confirmed as he's going through the S's, I believe it's called. Nice traction, nice little balance. Off the curbs, because that's not gonna work out well. That's just thank you to Peanuts for letting him past. And doesn't tell me what time confirmed with up or down, so I believe this hasn't set a lap yet. So this will be his first qualifying lap, or well, finishing of a lap. So nice turn through the heaven. Lets the car roll smooth on the accelerator, powering through. Now let's see where he brakes, what meter. So the 50-meter board. So nice. He's found his braking quite nicely. He's got some confidence in the car. Actually, he's found a nice rhythm, I believe. There seems to have a yellow flag somewhere. It's not. And it seems to be Chris Mania. So Chris Mania made a little bit of an error. Let's go back on confirmed. He just lifts off a little bit, but he held it in there. Finds his braking marker a little bit late because he missed the apex there, but as he goes through, no high bump, and he sets a 143.3. So as I said, confirmed is not far off Peanuts, which in practice the two of them were going at it. So confirmed really liking the 1990 era. Peanuts just liking the classic cars all round, but confirmed he was in the McLaren actually, I believe, in practice, and really enjoying it. But I think he's enjoying the Ferrari a bit more because he seems a bit more smooth on the power band, and really enjoying it. But I think he's on another qualifying lap, so I think he must have enough fuel to do 2 runs. As we see, he's 1/10 down, but like Peanuts, he can put in a mighty sector 2 and 3 to help improve. And I don't think that's going to improve his time. So, as Pierre and Salty Sandman seem to be having a drag race into a qualifying lap, and Pierre is going to have to give that one up. Sandman, can he put together a nice solid lap? Maybe even bring the time down from a 149. I think the only one still in the 2 minutes is Killaroo, so the last race's winner. So he's still got to find some time. Oh, Killaroo's dropped away. He's smacked the barrier, and there goes his tyre right in front of us. Right in front of us, just on board with him. He's hit the barrier at such an angle that there goes his tyre. It's still rolling away. In a normal case, that would be a red flag, but here he is, just sitting. Can't believe he's dropped it. He's retired, but he's still in 5th at the moment, so there's still a chance to. As Chris Mania almost drops at the same corner. So these guys, they're pushing, but maybe pushing a little bit too hard for what these cars can actually do. As Chris Mania is 1.7 tenths down on his lap. And he's dropped it again, so he's definitely not improving here. So Biggles has joined us. So I think he might be back fairly shortly, hopefully. Chris Mania not enjoying his car, actually. I would have thought he would have loved it play with the shifter. But yeah, not enjoying a Piero. Let's see how he's going. I think he's down. He's definitely down. He's made a mistake somewhere because 140, so he's. Oh, that's right. He had to wait for Salty Sandman. So he's now going to start his flying lap as he's dropped it. And that's going to hurt him. And that's hurt him for the next 2 laps. Because now he's going to have to go into the pit, fix his front wing. And I wouldn't be doing that on the track. Not with the way the restrictions, with the restrictions. So particularly when it comes to rules and flags on strict. So. And normally it can disqualify you for reversing on the track. So Killaroo has found some pace somewhere, putting himself into 4th, well, 44.3. So still a second off confirmed for that second spot. But if he can find a rhythm in the last 3 minutes, as who is that that's been dropped? I think that might have been Chris Mania. It is Chris Mania. So he's really not enjoying this McLaren actually. We'll go back on board with Killaroo, see how he goes. I think Biggles is there, actually. Are you there, Biggles? No?
Yes.
There we go. He is. Inton is back.
Yeah, it's well, it's up and down like a yo-yo, like a figure-8 track in Suzuka.
Yeah. It's it must be really annoying. And yeah, I was just saying to the viewers, sorry for the late start, because we had a few network issues, as Chris Mania has retired from the session, so he's obviously he's made contact somewhere where he's not going to be able to get himself out of it. So as we continue to ride on Killaroo, but yeah, sorry for the viewers, as yeah, a few network issues, as we had a few people drop as Killaroo drops it, quite literally drops it into the wall. Yeah, so a few network issues halted us in our restart. So sorry for that, guys. It was a lot later than what it was and what it should have been. Plus the addition of Piero and Law of the Streets. And Styrish Clown has also had some issues as well, so he dropped out. So a few switches in and out, and again, some people dropping out. So it wasn't ideal, but we got there in the end. So as Peanuts pumps in a 142.9, so he's flying at the moment as Killaroo drops it again. So on to you, Biggles.
Yeah, just as you said, like, well, we get there in the end. That's exactly right. That's what we do as a team. It's his OCE, so we got. But yeah, Killaroo. Well, I mean, I didn't think there's kangaroo. There's no kangaroos in Japan, right? So I hope he didn't kill any roos.
I don't believe so.
Silly bank.
Just.
Yeah. By the way, out there, ladies and gentlemen, we don't kill roos deliberately, of course. Well, there might be one that runs in front of a Formula One car every once in a while. And that might be the reason why Killaroo is called kangaroos. Kangaroos jumping in front of his McLaren.
Yeah, I think he's had one too many.
I don't expect. So the only figure-8 track in the Formula One grid, it's a pretty long track as well, 6.8 kilometers. Qualifying is pretty much done and dusted at this point. 44 seconds. You have 3 drivers in the pits and 2 drivers currently on the track. Can any of them beat Peanuts' provisional pole?
Well, Ubiquitous is going at it again, so he's 2/10 down in Sector 1. Peanuts, where is he sitting now? He's about to come up to the line of Sector 2, and he's 6/10 up, so Peanuts is flying at the moment. He's loving Classic Car. This Classic event is just suiting him. So, as I said earlier, like, he's one of the only drivers on controller, and I think in the entire league he's one of 4 drivers, one of 5 drivers on the controller, as Peanuts pumps in a 142.2. He will be thoroughly pleased with that lap. But yeah, he's one of the only drivers on controller as Ubiquitous is 2/10 down. And it'd be incredible to imagine what Peanuts would do on a wheel. Because I think over the years, the controller and the wheel has, I think it found a peaking point last year. I think this year was probably the first year where in F1 racing games where the wheel was sort of quicker, a little bit quicker than the controller. There's still parts of the tracks in certain tracks where the controller is quicker, but I think the game slightly leans towards the wheel now. So it'd be incredible to see Peanuts on a wheel. So, but yeah, just
you said it.
Yeah, go Biggle. Sorry.
No, yeah. You said no. I didn't mean to interrupt you at the end of
No.
Your statement, which is exactly right. Like in tracks like this, which basically this track really only has one little main straight. The rest of them, it's more of a motorcycle track than it is actually Suzuka being built specifically for that. So in this case, it's all about the tiny little steering angles that you do to pick up the perfect, maximizing the line in and out of the corners for the least amount of distance that you can get around a track. Least amount of distance means least amount of time. And that's where the wheel will come into play. Now, other tracks you mentioned, tracks would be like Singapore and Monaco, where you're basically going to be hard steering to the left and to the right. Well, it doesn't rely on the steering so much, does it? It just relies on your timing.
Pretty much. So, I think but there is certain parts of Monaco. I think the wheel was quicker. I think it's the the big hairpin, the really slow one. I forget the name of it actually. That the wheel is better suited to that. As Peanuts wants to do a bit of a celebration by stopping flat on the line. I think show his rivals that he's got it. I think he's on top form, and he's setting a little come and get me, guys. I think. As we see,
Exactly. Qualifying
disqualification.
grid.
Yeah, disqualification for Law of the Streets in literally 30 seconds. I think he came out of the pits and got disqualified. So not a great qualifying, particularly as Law of the Streets has not done any practice in these cars.
So I'm seeing the driver in P9 with no name. However, on the Twitch, sorry, the YouTube streaming there is Swifty. Is it Swifty?
Swifty, yeah, Swifty. Yeah, he's got no name on the stream.
So maybe he's failed to check that in on his what is it? What's the sorry, it's really early in the morning for me. The international driving license that you have to submit before you can drive a Formula One car. I guess just international driver's license.
I think so. I'm actually not 100% sure, to be honest.
You can't race in a Formula One race unless you actually have filed, submitted, licked a stamp, and send it, as Daniel Ricciardo would say, to get that, to have that license to be able to drive. Anyway, so formation lap or not?
It is a formation lap.
Classic cars. Remember, these cars don't have halos, but they do have seatbelts, thankfully. And you know, the debate. I mean, Roman Grosjean actually admitted that he was one of the drivers that did basically not really object, but just oppose the halo when it first was implemented back in
Roman Grosjean.
Roman Grosjean. Yes.
I think he was one of the drivers that was for it. Actually, I think it was him and Sebastian.
No, he was against it. Actually, he was
okay.
One of the opposers of it. He said it recently when he was in the hospital.
Oh, okay. I thought it. My understanding he was for it, but okay, yeah.
No. He actually said, like, I was one of the drivers that opposed it, but now I'm very glad that you know the FIA decision to just override and implement it because to speak about it.
For sure.
These drivers unfortunately don't have that luxury, and also the same thing I believe was with Sir Sterling Moss. You know, who recently passed away.
Yes.
And Sterling Moss is back in the days where you're lucky as it.
I didn't even think I had seatbelts.
Finished a lap. Yeah, and the seatbelts were implemented in one of the years that he was racing, and they opposed it. He was one of those drivers that opposed it, saying
it's amazing. It's amazing
because you get caught in steering wheels and also the early day seatbelts too also had faults.
This is true.
You know, they were worried about can they get out of the car because there was a lot of crashes with fires and things like that. And, you know, that's just the marvel innovation of science.
This is true, but it's amazing to think that seatbelts, out of all things, was opposed to, because I know in Monaco, I'm not sure, I can't remember what driver it was, but they crashed into the swimming pool and basically got thrown from the car into the pool, into the ocean. So
it did, yeah. A lot of back then that happened. But remember, as I said, like seatbelts also were, if they couldn't get out of seatbelts quickly enough, you were trapped. So that was one of the things too people worried about with Halo. Is it going to be something that a driver was going to get trapped and they can't get out quickly?
Well, I mean, as we said, modern science, as technology evolves, it just, I think Biggles has left again, so I think his internet's still playing up. But yes, as Biggles, on Biggles' topic, as technology evolves, it's only there to help us, and clearly in Formula One it helped Roman Grosjean. Yeah, off the topic of Roman Grosjean, on to now the start of the Japanese Grand Prix in the 1990 McLaren and Ferrari of Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna. As it's a weird camera angle that we're being shown right now, but we're about to see them come out from the grid. As here we go, as Peanuts is off and Piero has left the session. So we seem to have everyone's gone. So Piero is gone, but everyone seems to be the spin there. Who is that? It looks like Ubiquitous at the moment. It is Ubiquitous as Dartags is going around with half a wing and Lord of the Streets has dropped it. Piero out in front. Now, something's happened to Piero, whether that's his network, we are not sure. So, at the moment, I think Killaroo is in the lead. So, he's again jumped everybody from the start. Peanut seems to have got him. Killaroo's going to put up a fight here. Is going very... basically hugging the corner, and I think he's dropped it on corner exit. So confirmed his heart on Killaroo's tail now, and confirmed was not there, and as did Killaroo. So both drivers almost dropping it, trying to get the power down. As Chris Mania is, hang on a sec, guys, is fighting with I think it was Salty Sandman. Sorry, I just need to quickly re-invite Piero, as I was right. He did get kicked from the game. So Piero sits the fastest lap, but I don't know why. I think he jumped the start, the AI's jumped the start, couldn't combine with the network, so confirmed, and Killaroo going at it. There seems to be another yellow flag. I believe that might be... It is Law of the Streets, so again, struggling at the moment. Salty Sandman, Dartags is in the pits. Salty Sandman is gone. He's on his way. Confirmed, trying to stick with Killaroo. So Peanut's trying to hunt down Piero. Now, whether he has to serve a time penalty, I don't believe so. He'll be back into the game as the game is trying to readjust what is happening at the moment. And it looks like someone has dropped... Killaroo has dropped it, so very unfortunate for Killaroo, as he was in a very nice spot, and I think he's made contact with the wall. He's missing half a front wing, so that's really harsh on Killaroo. Salty Sandman has retired, and Killaroo has dropped it again. Now, I think, did he make any contact with Ubiquitous? We missed the second half of that, and it looked like he might have made some contact, but not really sure. Salty Salmon has left the session, so Piero enjoying life out front at the moment. Peanut's hunting him down, so Law of the Streets is facing backwards on the start-finish line. Peanut seems to have the neutral weird twitch on the top set and correct herself. Peanut sets the fastest lap with a 1:45 flat, still 15 seconds behind Piero. So either that's an amazing start from Piero, or something's obviously happened. And who is that? Law of the Streets, again going wide. He's really not enjoying these cars. Really not enjoying it. As confirmed is on the trail of Peanuts. Losing a little bit of time as he's fallen away a bit from Peanuts, but he's enjoying this car much more than what he was in the 2003 Williams. So Stricty has retired from the session. So had a few retirements very quickly. Victor Shadow has also retired from the session, so he's obviously made an error somewhere, as it's given Dartags a free run-up. Killaroo is coming back, and he's going to really try and hunt down Dartags as fast as he possibly can. And there is also a safety car, so this has given Killaroo a perfect opportunity. So for the second race in a row, we have a safety car within the first 3 laps. So it's also wiped out Piero's advantage that he had of 15 seconds, so it's effectively neutralized the race, which Peanuts Peanuts was praying that that would have happened. So his prayers have been answered. Confirmed can now come up to the back of Peanuts. Chris Mania can close down Confirmed. Dartags can then close down Chris Mania, and Killaroo can close down Dartags. But I don't believe Law of the Streets will get that chance, being 2 minutes 37 behind the leader already. So, as I said, he hasn't had a lot of practice, so it's taking him some time to get up to scratch with things. Again, these cars are frightening as that power band kicks in. It's a V12 engine, so it just scares you off the road sometimes. On board with Piero as he's found the safety car. So now we just got to wait for Peanuts and the rest to join the back of Piero as Shrifty has left the session. So Piero trying to warm his tyres up, and I believe he's also suffering from neutral glitch. Yeah, sorry for the network issues, guys. I think it's just one of those days. I'm just having a few network issues, so it's just one of those days, I suppose. Closing back up, trying to hunt down Dartags, trying to get onto the back of him, but that's not going to help him. So Peanuts is now caught to the back. Piero confirms right there too. Chris Mania is there as well. So I don't expect this safety car to be out too much longer either, because other than Law of the Streets, he's going to catch up to the back, but be one lap behind. He might not even be able to catch up. It just depends on when the safety car decides to go. But Dartag's pushing as fast as he can. I think he'll have one more. I think the safety car will be in this lap. So after this, I think this might be the last lap. So I think Dartag and Killaroo really need to get a move on if they're going to catch the safety car. Let's see how we go. We'll restart in the next lap, hopefully. It's now the field is now much more closer together. So whatever issue, whether Piero got a brilliant start and everyone has had a difficult start, or network issue, it's brought the field right back together. So everything, whatever's happened, has been wiped. So Piero almost hit the back of the safety car. So you've got to be very careful, because he's going to wipe his nose or potentially get disqualified for hitting the safety car, and plus penalties. I have done that before, funnily enough, where I've accidentally driven into the back of the safety car when I was checking my MFD, and I did get disqualified for it. So yeah, you've got to be very careful not to do that. So let's check here. So Killaroo, he's still got a while to go. Dartags is getting closer, so they are catching, but I don't know if they're going to catch in time. So I think the damage that they both sustained at the start of this race has really hampered them, and I kind of hope now that the safety car does not go in this lap. So, but we will find out probably in the next 30 or 40 seconds. So, because now that they're coming on to the end of sector 2, and it's about here that the safety car will decide to turn its lights off and pull in towards the pit lane, which Piero then becomes the de facto safety car, controlling the pack. Here we go. Safety car on this lap. So I was right. Damn. But now Piero is now the de facto safety car. So he's going to have to wait for that safety car to pull in. Where is Dartag? So he's almost there. Dartag is almost there. Killaroo doing his absolute best to come and close that pack down, as Piero has gone. So he's bolted away. Peanuts close behind. Confirmed not far behind him. As we have as Dartags unfortunately has dropped it, so trying to close down the pack so fast that he's dropped it himself. Back on board with the leader, Piero. As we ride on board with him, we listen to the V12 sound of the Ferrari through the S's. not enough aero on the front of that car, or his tyres, he's cooked his tyres, but he had to downshift, and basically there was almost no throttle application at all through that corner. So Peanuts is closing down by about 6 or 7 tenths, so I think that all came from that. So as we seem to have another, and Killaroo has retired. So trying to close down Dartags, he's retired, unfortunately. So the last round winner, unfortunately, has retired. Chris Mania on the back of that pack. So this is going to be close, I think. Virtual safety car. So we have another safety car. I think Law of the Streets he's going to be extremely happy with this, because he's 2 minutes behind the leader. Nowhere near contention, but I think he's going to at least get 6th place. So unless he drops it between now and the next 2 minutes. So he's going to get some points, because everybody else has not been able to keep it out of the wall, or keep it away from each other, and then happen to make a mistake and into the wall. So I think Lord of the Streets is going to be laughing after this. He's almost there. He's about 5 seconds behind Chris Mania. So unfortunately for him, it wasn't another full safety car, because he really couldn't have done with that. But as we go ahead, there seems to be another spin, and I believe it was Dartags again. He's not liking the last part of that we're going through of the track. He's really struggling. And back in the old games, there used to be a weird Suzuka bump, as they call it. That would violently throw your car if you hit it at the right angle at just really random. You would be driving one moment, and the next minute you're in the barriers. And then you look up and say, what on earth just happened? Back on board with Piero. The Suzuka bump is all fixed for this game, so I think so. I think it's a little bit still there, but it's not nowhere near as critical as it used to be. Back on board with Piero. Peanuts, he's sticking with that 1 second. With 6 laps still to go, Peanuts is very much in play, and he definitely wants to win, because he feels like he threw away the last win. Particularly with the spin as well, did not help him, but he really wants this win, and he's not going to enjoy his fellow countryman Piero. He's not going to enjoy him winning the race, so I know Peanuts wants to. So even though Peanuts got the better hand of Piero in the Brazilian Grand Prix on our last event of the season. Of our race season, so even though Peanuts got the best of him, Piero wants to fix that, and Peanuts just doesn't want Piero to win at all. So it's Malaysian versus Malaysian at the front, with Ferrari versus McLaren, so it's Alain Prost versus Ayrton Senna, if they were both Malaysian. So at the moment, no controversial Ayrton Senna crash with Alain Prost there, so if these guys can keep it clean, Piero is within a shot, and Peanuts within a shot. Confirmed dropping back a little bit. He's made an error, a critical error, and he's dropped it again on re-entry. So again, he's reversing on the track. That's a little dangerous. That might cause a bit of a disqualification if he's not careful. He's okay, no disqualification, so he's all right. Chris Mania. Even Chris Mania will be quite happy, actually, because again, he's not had a lot of practice. So to come away with a podium with pretty much no practice, he'd be extremely happy with that. Now, confirmed trying to get back up to the pace, but he's got a lot of work to get back to where he was before. And unless Chris Mania and the other two up the top make some sort of mistake, I think confirmed might be happy just to finish 4th. So. Might be stuck there. So Dartags is closing in on him. He's about 1.8 seconds behind. 1.7 now. So Dartags, who's made quite a few mistakes in his Grand Prix, is smelling up 4th place position. And again, another neutral twitch at the moment with the car. Dartags is smelling 4th. He wants to fix those mistakes he's made. We're back on board with Piero. Quite squirrely out of that. Piero sets the fastest lap with a 1:43.4. So they're almost getting towards their qualifying times at the moment. So I believe there must be another spin because there was a car going very slow there. Dartags is about to lap the streets. But, that's what's happened actually. Dartags has made a mistake because he's now 13.2 seconds behind confirmed. So Dartags has made a mistake. And Pierre are comfortable at the moment, so unless there's a mistake, almost commentator's curse there because he touched the grass, and that's a worry in these cars. You don't want to be touching any grass with these cars. At least in the F1, the current F1 cars, you touch the grass, it's a little bit easier to control. Even though if you get oversteer and drop it, when you touch the grass, it's a bit easier to control. With these cars, it's a do or die. So you touch the grass and pray, you touch the grass and pray, or you play it safe and try not to push as hard. So, but Pierre pushing, Peanuts again always pushing. He's falling away from Pierre, so that must be frustrating him a bit, I think. Someone else, as Dartags has spun again. So on for a potential fourth, is now finding himself even 26 seconds, so even further back from confirmed. So that's really unfortunate for Dartags. Again, like coming from commentary to racing when you haven't done it at all, this event is purely for fun, but it's definitely very difficult to go from nothing to 2 races back to back, 25% in cars that are quite difficult to drive. So I think had he have been in the multiplayer or just a normal Formula 1 car, from the current grid, he wouldn't be finding it as tough as this as he's now. But these cars, they're brutal. If you make a mistake, the car will let you know you've made a mistake, and there can go your race. So Pierre enjoying life in the front, as we seem to have another spinner. It's Dartags again, so I think he's got to find a rhythm, Dartags, and he's dropped it again. I think he's not careful. Any more contacts, he might actually break the car for retirement. So, and this is the thing, one mistake, it's just a compounding effect sometimes. You've got to find your rhythm back as fast as you can, because one mistake leads to another and another, then leads to frustration, then leads to trying even harder than before, as he's completely missed the corner altogether. And he's dropped it again onto corner re-entry. So everyone seems to be okay, but Dartag's really struggling with life at the moment. But as I said, it's all a compounding effect. One mistake just leads to another and another, and until you can quickly find your rhythm again, then you break the little rut, so as they say. And that's what it is. It's all about the no mistake factor, which Piero is keeping nice and solid. And what's interesting and really great from the drivers this time round is no one seems to have a penalty this time round. So from the part of Monza, where I think the majority of the drivers had penalties, bar a few, this round no one seems to have a penalty, and it is a bit more difficult to get corner cutting warnings in Japan. You definitely can get for exceeding track limits, as if you're pushing too hard. There's definitely a few runoff areas where you push too hard, it will send you out wide, and as you try to gain time and floor it through to come back on the track, you will get an exceeding track limits warning. 3 of those, and you get yourself a 3-second penalty for basically cheating. And Piero almost drops it. I'm sure Peanuts will smell some fear that Piero just dropped on the track, as we seem to have another yellow flag. Confirmed is out of the race. He must be spewing. He's thrown away fourth spot, and that's a real shame for Confirmed, because again he really was enjoying the classic car in practice. He was so close to Peanuts. So as we are on board for lap 11, Dartags is also retired. Law of the Streets is going to find himself in 4th position, even though he is more than a couple of laps behind the leader. He must be absolutely ecstatic at the moment. He's just waiting for everyone to retire themselves. I think he's kind of hoping either Chris Mania, Peanuts, or Piero make a mistake to leapfrog into the podium. All it's going to take is one more driver to make a mistake somewhere, and there's a podium for Law of the Streets with no practice at all. So, lap 12, still anything can happen. Peanuts has slowly caught Piera. He's put on 5/10 on him in the last lap. He's lost a bit of a temp with that lap, that exit there. Dartax has then left the session. Obviously, he's not very happy with the retiring at the end. Again, well done to Dartax, everyone. If you can give a quick round of applause for him, because from commentary box to racing driver, he's done a full DeResta. So well done, Dartax. Unfortunately, he didn't finish the race, but well done nonetheless. As Peanuts almost drops it, trying his absolute hardest to pick up on Piero. So. Piera has dropped it. Oh, Piera has dropped it. He's left the session. He's not happy at all. He's given P1 to Peanuts. And he's going to let his AI finish off the race. But Chris Mania now smells a P2. And effectively that hands Law of the Streets a third place position as Chris Mania drops it too. And from 10 races to 3. It really shows just how difficult this customers will be to drive, because as Chris Mania shows, a little bit of extra power, and there goes the car as he outbrakes himself and luckily just catches it on the exit. So Piero is in the pits, so that promotes Chris Mania to second spot. If he can hold it, it'll be a McLaren 1-2. So what have we got left? We've only got McLarens left in this race. So Ferrari have taken a big hit here. Not one of their cars has been able to finish the race. Piero was the sole remaining car, but with him leaving the session, it promotes Law of the Streets to third spot. So McLaren will finish off our classic event with a 1-2-3, providing no commentary curses. But the way it's looking is it will be a 1-2-3 across the line. So regardless of Law of the Streets being one lap behind, he's going to get a podium. So he must be rolling around the floor laughing at the end of this race, because he can't believe his luck. As Chris Mania has made a mistake and drops even further behind Peanuts. But I think he's going to be very content with P2. Again, Chris Mania, not really any practice at all, bar the qualifying sessions. So on board with Peanuts, as he will finish off the last round at the Japanese Grand Prix for us. As he crosses the line, Peanuts will be singing in that car. He will be singing, whether it's the Malaysian national anthem, whether it's some other song, or whether repeating the Burger King theme from Piero. He will be singing as Chris Mania comes around the second last corner into the last corner. He would be thoroughly happy with that performance, a second place position. And Piero, as the AI, will not count towards his finish. So with the only driver actually left, Law of the Streets, well controlled, touches the grass a little bit, but he crosses the line and he'll grab his third position when we fix that up in the steward's room later. So this race marks the end of the classic championship and Law of the Streets actually gets driver of the day. So thoroughly well deserved, because he got a disqualification in the first 30 seconds of qualifying. So he's come in, missed the first round, but he's gotten a podium for the McLaren team. So we will calculate the points at the end and see who is the winner, that'll be put into the race highlights on our YouTube channel. So keep an eye out for that when that goes live. Hopefully over the next day or so. We'll have a quick look at the race director for any incidents. Really, there wasn't many bar the retirements. Yeah, that marks, guys, our OCE Racing League Classic event. I hope you really enjoyed watching the event. Yeah, stick around because I think there'll be one more event next week, and that'll be for the drivers 5-lapper season. Just a quick brief on that. It is basically I'll just quickly show you the standing results as well, as I forgot this pops up. But yes, this is the season review, but that needs to again be edited, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. But yeah, so the 5-lapper league events. So basically, we'll redo all 11 rounds of our race league that we competed between the 26th of September and the 5th of December of 2020, and it'll be in random order where there'll be no qualifying but a 5-lap race event. So stay tuned, guys, for next week's last race event for probably the year, as it'll be Christmas in 2 weeks. So hope you guys enjoyed today's races, and enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully next week I'll be back as a driver.